Good afternoon. On behalf of the Region 14 Conference Tip-Off Committee, I'd like to welcome you to the Student Union Ballroom here on the campus of Trinity Valley Community College for the 14th Annual Region 14 Conference Media Tip-Off. We're also excited to have everyone looking in today on the Cardinal Sports Network at tvcc.edu. And I think also we have the Premier Sports Network with us here today, and they're also webcasting. So it kind of shows you the stature of the event and how it's grown now, that where we can reach a lot of folks that can't be with us today. Before we move any further, I'd like to introduce my fellow committee members that help organize and plan this each year, starting with Phil Hicks of the Tyler Morning Telegraph, Joe Bowie of the Tyler Morning Telegraph, and Jason Larson of the Athens Daily Review. Yeah, please. These guys do a great job. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dr. Glendon Forgey, the president of Trinity Valley Community College, to issue the welcome on behalf of the college.
Thank you very much, Benny. It's a pleasure to be here today with the coaches and kind of inaugurate the start of basketball season. Not to demean any of the other sports, but I like basketball. You know, I just I was down at Blinn the other day and it was 90 degrees. I didn't particularly care for that. Not that we lost the game, but it was hot. You know, and in basketball, it's a nice, comfortable area. Great entertainment. We have some of the best coaches, best league, I think, in the nation. I was down in Tallahassee in Region 8 for about 4 years. They have good basketball, but it's just better up here, and we have some great coaches. And I know that they one thing I like about the coaches is they really care about their kids. They produce winners on and off the court, and that's something to be said for our coaches. Now, I have a favorite coach. And it's not one of mine, actually. It's one of the coaches here that I have. He provides more entertainment, I think, than any of the other coaches, and that's Coach Brian Hobrick from Kilgore. I enjoy watching him, but I enjoy listening to him, especially if he gets down on his players or something goes wrong. I enjoy listening to Coach Hobrick over there at Kilgore. But we are glad to have the coaches here today. And this event, as Benny said, that you can tell the prestige of this event by the media coverage. I'm proposing a new rule, I guess a procedure in tiebreakers. And it's, if we have a tie situation with the basketball teams, I'm proposing that the presidents play just a game of one-on-one. So far, I've only had one vote. But maybe we'll have better luck in the future. But we're glad to have you here and hope you enjoy the day. Thank you very much.
I'd like to acknowledge today that we have someone very special attending with us, and I would like to thank you for being here, and that's Coach Leon Spencer for being with us. Coach Spencer, you were a legend and icon in this league, and this league still stands on the shoulders of like you and Lewis Orr, and we appreciate you being here today. I also like to thank Pat Smith for the meal today. I went to Pat with the idea back in the spring, said, hey, we ought to feed everybody. He said, sure. We don't have a budget for it, but we'll figure out how to do it. So I fully expect that I'll find out Monday that it's coming from the Public Information Department budget, Jennifer, so we may be up the creek. I would like to... Pat just said he's putting pressure on Tyler to do it next year. So, Dr. Drain, the ball's in your court now, I guess. So, speaking of icons, we lost a couple of icons this year within the conference, one from the coaching profession, one from the media profession that I wanted to spend just a minute and to recognize. And, of course, I'm talking about Coach Evelyn Blaylock, who coached at Kilgore College for 18 years, went to 6 national tournaments, won 3 national championships. She died back in June at the age of 72. And Coach Blaylock, I really credit with putting women's basketball from this conference on the national map. Now, others have taken it now and ran with it, but because of her, I think this conference really gained some recognition. And earlier in May, we lost Charles Stiff, a longtime photographer of the Athens Daily Review. He was in this conference for 20 years shooting basketball. I know he shot all the national championships here at Trinity Valley. And not only was he a great ambassador for the Review and for the college here, but just for the media in general, because Charles was a good guy. And to honor their memory, and Charles was 76, by the way, and to honor their memory, I would ask us to please observe a moment of silence in their memory. Thank you. At this time, we will begin our program with the coaches, and as you'll see, as is built in there, we'll have our 15-minute break about halfway through. That will give members of the media a chance to grab some of the coaches and get some of your interviews done so that you don't have to get it all done at the end of the day. With that being said, then we'll start our program with Sean LaBeouf, the head women's basketball coach at Parish Junior College.
Good afternoon. First, I just want to thank Trinity Valley for holding this event. Just an opportunity to speak on our team this year, and actually something I use with the kids, my current kids and prospective student athletes. I use this as motivation for myself, and always getting them to find motivation to enable them to be great in their steps forward. This, as I always say, Trinity Valley is the standard. I tell that to my current kids and kids I'm recruiting on this women's side. Trinity Valley is the standard, and I use that to motivate me every day. And why do I say that now? Because we're probably moments that I won't forget are the last 20 seconds of the regional tournament, regional semifinal. And those 20 seconds are going to stay with me for a long time, and it's going to drive me to be better for myself and be better for those kids. And I always want to make mention of that, so not to become complacent and take moments for granted again. That's probably the first time ever that on a timeout I've never drawn up a play, any set to try to score a basket. That's the one time I trusted a kid with the ball to go and make something happen. In ways, I tell them not to have regrets when they go through life, and that's probably right now in basketball my biggest regret, that moment right there. And can't take it back, but I'm going to use it to drive me the rest of the way. As far as the roster for this year, and I try not to come up here and talk about any kids that haven't actually proven themselves. This team, this collection of athletes here at Parish Junior College, they probably have a chance to be the best team to ever step on the campus, talent-wise. This is probably the best collection of talent. I know since I've been there, and probably since we've been blessed enough to make history at Parish Junior College for both years, this is probably the best collection of talent at that school's in that school's history. And with that, with more talent comes more maintenance. And they're blessed with talent in different areas, but unlike my first team, which was probably the least amount of talent I've ever had in my coaching career, those kids were the toughest. And I know people say you got to have talent, and I've always been one to say that talent thing, that's overrated to a certain extent. The kid that's the toughest, most disciplined, structured, is always going to come out on top in the end. And right now we're trying to create a toughness in these kids, and there are few. As talented as they are, we have 3 D1 transfers, and sometimes I wonder what they do at these larger schools. When I see these kids in practice, they're lacking a few. But we have some kids that are blessed with some things. We have a transfer from the University of Pittsburgh, Yasmin Fuller, probably play the 2 for us. We have Morgan Kilgore, a left-handed shooter from University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. We have Shakira Goodman from Hampton University that had an opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament versus Kentucky in the first round, and she actually played, so she has some experience. Yasmin Thompson, 6'2" post from Central Florida. Those young ladies will have a chance to make an impact. Right now, they're not tough enough or where they need to be, but potentially we can be pretty good if they ever buy in to what we're trying to get across to them. But it's outside of that, we have 3 returnees on the roster. All 3 started. All 3 You can tell that they've been around a little longer than the other kids because the workouts and things don't seem as tough to them, you know. So they've come accustomed to the work we put in. But the opportunity is there to have one of the best years in the school's history. But there are other things that need to take place. But definitely looking forward to the upcoming year. I think it's going to be exciting. I think every team in the league has recruited better talent. So it's going to be much more competitive. I'm looking forward to it. And at the end of the day, one thing Paris Junior College can hang their hat on is they're going to work hard and we're going to guard the ball. And I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I wish you guys well. Thank you.
And now we'll hear from Coach Chuck Taylor on the men's side at Paris Junior College.
Good afternoon. First of all, I want to say hello to Coach Spencer. It's great seeing you as always. When I was blessed enough back 10 years ago when Coach Foy gave me an opportunity to come down here and work with him, I had heard a lot about you. I never had an opportunity to meet you, and I had an opportunity to meet you that year. Didn't like the outcome, but I had an opportunity to meet you. So it's always great to see you, and it's good to have you here. Welcome to everybody else. Coach Wonders, congratulations. Appreciate it. Good luck this year. As always, it's great to have an opportunity to stand up here with your peers, and we're in for another good year, guys. I mean, the league is as good as it's ever been, and you know, I'm fortunate enough to be in a situation where I didn't have to create a culture. The culture was there. It was created well before I got there, and I'm in a situation where I'm asked to keep it at that level. That ain't an easy thing to do. We're blessed this year. This year's team, we got some pretty talented individuals. However, we got some pretty young individuals. So, along with the talent, when you don't have the experience to go along with it, that's where only some games and some times and some situations is going to allow for that. So, really happy with the group of guys that I got. Unfortunately, as I said, I got one player back from last year's team that actually played in the game. I got two other players that actually played for another institution a year ago, and they were backups. So we got a little work on our hands. We're talented, but you know, we got some work to do to get to where we need to be in this league, especially. Our schedule, we had a bunch of JV games last year, and it really kind of hurt us at start of conference play because it gave us a false sense of how good we thought we really were. And unfortunately, you know, you walk into conference 0-3, that don't make for a real enjoyable Christmas. That was the longest 14 days I ever had in my life. I mean, 0-3 is 0-3 in this league, and guess what? You start losing in this league, it don't stop quick. You have to figure out a way to stop it yourself. So we were able to figure it out, and we figured out how to win some basketball games and put ourselves in a situation where we were able to make it to the semifinals. And that's not the standard at Paris, unfortunately. The standard is to try to win it all. So that's what I signed up for. That's what I got in front of me, and I got to figure it out some kind of way to keep that standard there. That's it. Any questions, concerns? Thanks.
And now Coach Trina Jones of Tyler Junior College.
Again, thank you for having us this year. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to start off by telling you we are freaking loaded this year. We're big. We're fast. We can press. We can run and jump. We can zone. We can do some everything. But now that I'm finished talking about our conference, let me talk about TJC. We're going, yeah, I scared everybody. No, I would never come up and say that. But as far as our team, we have eight players that played basketball last year. We're old in heart, but young in mind. We're teaching every day. We're trying to get them to get stronger, mentally tougher, work harder. want to beat everybody in this conference. As of right now, I don't think we're playing anywhere near the level of where this little green sheet says we are. I pray with everything in me, and I'm going to bust my tail that we finish there. But with what this conference has to offer, what this right side has to offer, it's going to be tough to do. We got to see everybody this weekend. From the rooter to the tutor, this conference is the best conference in the country. And we're going to come out to play, and we're going to come out to challenge. And, you know, you're praying for a split. You're praying that you can win at home, lose on the road, and don't lose too bad. That's what we're going to do. We're going to challenge. We've got Markeisha Hawkins back, who is a kid that I prayed all summer, wouldn't leave and go to D1 after all the offers she had, and she stayed. We've got Cecilia Okoye, 6'4", I wish, 6'1" post kid that thinks she's a guard still. And got another little ragtag group of other kids that don't know what they want to do, whether it be players or be socialites or be center of the club. But we're going to get it together, and we've got to get it together pretty quick. We're 1-4 in our scrimmages. We can't find a way to win. We're playing people close. We're playing people tough. We're fighting hard, but we're not winning, and that's not TJC. So I've got to get it together. We're going to do a lot of work, and we're going to come to compete every night.
And now Coach Mike Marquis of Tyler Junior College.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us here again. Trina's loaded, and I'll say it for her. Red, it was great to see you again. He told me an unbelievable joke, and I'm not going to be allowed to repeat it. So I feel bad about that. This is the first time I've spoken before the break since I've been here. I'm a little nervous because usually I get to go last and take a shot at everyone. So I know I'm in trouble today, but we had a unique experience today. Got to ride over here with Roy Thomas. I was so excited I couldn't sleep last night. I thought he's a TJC legend, and he's done a great job with the Kilgore's women. And I was so excited to find out about basketball and learn some new things. And after listening to Roy talk, I found out that Brad Tyndall knows a lot about basketball. So I was excited to hear that. So otherwise, Oh, I know I'm going to get a take it back here. We lost all of our starters. We had 10 freshmen. I'm very excited. I'm really having trouble with my vision. I had my eyes dilated today, and I can't wait to get back to practice because I can't see anything. So I know today will finally be good. So I'm excited about that. But overall, great league. The national buzz, I don't know if everyone gets that here, but the national buzz about the league is incredible right now. Probably 7 or 8 teams could be top 25 in America on the men's side. That's that good this year. Lots of transfers at some of the schools, a lot of good freshmen at the others. And, you know, it's going to be very, very competitive. And under the new rules we learned from Tony, the invisible arc and how to coach to invisibility, I'm looking forward to matching wits with everyone on that. And that'll be a lot of fun. But we really appreciate this opportunity. It's great the weather cooled down. That means it's basketball season, and we want to wish everyone good luck.
And it looks like Coach Cross made it up, so we'll go to Coach Tracy Stellato of Panola College.
Good afternoon. Thank you to Trinity Valley for hosting again. Can't believe this is actually my 10th year standing at the podium. I'm on year 10 of the 2-year plan. When I got to Panola 10 years ago, I was staying for 2, and I just can't seem to get out. So our roster has a completely new look. Was extremely disappointed with our finish last year, so kind of cleaned house. We have 0 returning starters, 0 returning backups. I'm really excited about our effort level thus far. We knew we needed to go out and upgrade our athleticism, and we did that. We still have a lot to learn, a little frustrated at this point with our lack of attention to detail. But that's something when you have 14 freshmen on the floor every day, I think it's kind of like Adam Sandler's 50 First Dates. We just kind of wipe the slate clean at the end of the day, and we start all over again. the next day. So we've got a couple of transfers that we're expecting some big things from at the guard spot that they're still trying to feel their way. I think it's one of the hardest things as a sophomore. You're expecting leadership for them. You're expecting them to understand your system, and they have the same problem the freshmen do. They're new. So, again, at this point, like I said, we've got a long ways to go. But we've got one of the key components figured out, and like I said, we're working really hard. So we're looking forward to a season similar to what Coach Jones said. We're going to come to compete, and I think if you've got that figured out, you'll have a chance. So thank you.
Coach Juncy Cotton of Panola College.
Good afternoon. I want to thank Trinity Valley for hosting this event this year. Much like Coach Stellato, this year's team for Panola is very, very young, very inexperienced. But with that said, I'm really excited about the future of where we're going. I think we've upgraded a little bit, still don't have a talent where it needs to be to compete at the level that we want to compete, but I'm excited about the direction we're headed. I have a lot of respect for the coaches in this league and the talent level, having been on the west side over there at Midland. This is the best league in the country, top to bottom. And I think for us, practice right now is a little too long. Kids don't know how to persevere through some tough times. But hopefully by end of the year, February, March, we'll be playing our best basketball. All right? Thanks.
And we'll hear from Coach Byron Coleman of Angelina College.
Afternoon, everybody. Thank y'all for having us here again. I'd like to, talk a little bit about the conference. I don't think there's too many conferences in the nation this year that can say that there's two All-Americans back. So we got Trinity Valley has a first teamer. I think Trina has a second teamer. There's an abundance of talent in this league. I think the best talent that's been in this league, I think, in the last 5 or 6 years. This league is really deep. I know, like say Tyler's returning 5 or 6 kids. Lawnmowers has a good group back. I mean, this whole league this year will be a dogfight, like Coach Jones said earlier. We have 6 kids back from last year ourselves. We have 3 transfers. Kind of like some of the rest of the coaches say, I think our newcomers and our transfers are kind of lost right now. Our 6 returning sophomores look pretty good every day in practice. Just like everybody else, though, we got to get mentally tougher, learn what we're doing, and understand why we're doing it. And that's hopefully and every coach here, I think, wants to figure that out before the first game, or at least by conference. And so that's what we're all working towards. As far as the lady runners go, our main player back is Carlisha White out of Bryan, Texas, all-region kid from last year. She's had a good preseason so far. Started off a little slow about the first 2 weeks, and she really turned it on once the game started. Brittany Jefferson was our 3rd leading scorer from last year. Has really looked good. Has definitely a quick step this year. She understands the plays, and last year she was a little confused. But we're going to lean on those 2 kids very strong to some of these transfers come around. But I've been a little, I won't say disappointed, but again, we got some newer kids, and it's just taking us a little longer to figure it out. But we'll get it. We know that these coaches over here are going to be ready to play, and we'll be the same. We'll be ready to go when it's time. Thank you.
And now we'll hear from Coach Todd Neighbors of Angelina College.
Okay, I'd also like to tell a quick story about Coach Spencer. When I was coaching at Hill Junior College, Coach Spencer came over to my tournament, and we had an opportunity to play his team, which is a very talented team that year, and we were lucky enough to beat him, I think, by 2 points at our place. Well, the next day our tournament continued. Coach Spencer played the early game, and he normally leaves early, goes home, and I look over there. He comes back to watch our game that night, and I walked over to Coach Spencer and I said, "Hey, what are you doing here, Coach? I figured you'd already be home." He said, "I'm coming back to scout so I can beat your tail next week." And sure enough, we went to play him next week, and he beat us by about 25. So definitely good to see you, Coach Spencer. And tried to get Coach Davis to come out here, but he's still trying to raise some money over for our regional tournament that we're having for softball. Our team this year, I'm really excited about them. The main reason is 4 of our freshmen that we had last year are not back, so that's a good thing. We decided we didn't want to bring those individuals back. They weren't guys that represented our program. One of them is a point guard that Coach Spencer commented on after we played actually Coach Smith. He said, if you had a point guard that's halfway decent, you might be pretty good. And he's true. It's very, very true. So we went out and got some good players this year. I think our talent level is definitely upgraded. I think we probably have the most talent we've had since I've been the head coach there. And I really think that we have a chance to be a very good program. It's just a matter of how much we grow. We only have one guy returning from last year, Michael Myers, who averaged 9 points a game for us. The rest of them are freshmen, with the exception of 2 D1 transfers that we have. And I think some of those freshmen are better than the D1 transfers that we brought in. So we're real excited about our guys. We're 1-4 in our scrimmages, but we've been battling. We've been right there, but they just hadn't figured quite out how to finish the game there at the end. And some of that's because we've 18 guys, and we're playing a ton of people right now trying to figure out what our lineup is. So hopefully we'll finish a little higher than 5th. I think we have a chance to do that. Just get to the tournament and then see what we can do when we get there. Thank you.
And Coach Roy Thomas of Kilgore College.
Good afternoon, everybody. We got to liven up a little bit. Everybody's too serious in this place and stuff. I've been calling around trying to get a new team put into our region. It's called the CRS Club. See if we can get 15 people. Now, everybody looking at me like, what's the CRS Club? That means can't remember shit. If we had a club like that, I would have 6 of the first 7. I guarantee you right there. So every day I go out, I call the NJCAA, and I said, we've got to give more timeouts. They said, Coach, we can only do this many. I said, I've got to have more timeouts. It takes 2 timeouts just to get 1 point across, so I just can't take it and stuff. But, we got 3 starters. Well, before I finish, thanks Trinity Valley. Now, I jumped on TJC. I see y'all got me the last women down there. Now, that because I'm the oldest or what? So I had to catch my breath from walking up the steps. So if you're going to continue to have this at Trinity Valley, you're going to have to do me on closed TV or something. I can't come up these steps. I finally got Dr. Drain to stop putting me over at the cafeteria, so he started putting me closer to the podium. So Trinity Valley, you got to step up to the plate. But we got 3 starters coming back. Well, we had 3. One of them is on crutches, my little point guard. She got hurt this past weekend up at the IAD. So we got Lisa Johnson, Bianca McGee. We were fortunate enough to get a transfer from Lafayette, Taylor Tucker, and Andrea Gamble. But the rest of it just flip a coin. We're trying to find out of about 8 people to see who can fit into that 5th spot. And last week I thought we put a little girl in. I thought of Wagstaff and Leon Spencer. And she hadn't really been playing, but I wanted to try. And game was pretty close. Of course, even though it was just a scrimmage, and she took a couple shots. So she got on the bus. She came up and she said, Coach, I'm sorry. My bad. I said, no, baby, it ain't your bad. It's my bad for putting you in the game. So that's what Leon Spencer Wagstaff was taking. So yesterday I had to be out, and I found out my little girl was on crutches, and she'd be out the rest of the year. And I was down for a minute and stuff. And as I got close to Lufkin, I said, well, it ain't all that bad. I could be working for Tim Drainer with Mike Marquis, so it ain't all bad and stuff. So suddenly I picked up. And it wasn't too bad. Now I know I'm gonna get hit back with Holbright and Dale Dawson. So all you men team, y'all better look out, cause Holbright is not bad. I can actually sit in my office and do some work this year, because in the last 2 or 3 years I closed the door, put on earmuffs. You could still hear him screaming and hollering and stuff, because you thought all the kids' name was, "What the hell are you doing?" Darn it. This is junior high basketball this year. Good play, good play, good play. I can actually stay in my office and get some work done. But the only thing I can tell you about the Kilgore Rangers, we're going to come out and compete. I try to get Trina to let me stop. Now we're going to get 4 Hershey boys, get one of Trinity Valley, Angelina, Paris, and who else was there? See, I'm getting old. I can't remember. But the top 4 teams. Just let you know when things get bad, remember I gave you a Hershey boy, so take it easy on the Rangers. But we will compete, and you know that. So you got to keep the bumps and stuff as it may. Don't take this game too serious. It's going to be good years. It's going to be bad years. So all of you young coaches like Holbright, he reminded me the other day we was talking. I said, hey, game has changed a little bit. I remember when they didn't have the three-point line, and he looked at me. He said, well, Coach, I hadn't really been coaching that long. Remember the three-point line? So I said, son, just keep living, keep living. So you either got to be doing something right or they just couldn't hire nobody else at Kilgore. So staying with us in the later Rangers, we will hustle and we will get after you.
We'll take our 15-minute break now, and I'll give you a 2-minute warning when we're getting ready to get started back. So if you want to grab some of these coaches for your interviews now, this will be a good time. We'll be back in 15 minutes.
We've just finished the first half of the 14th annual media tip-off here at Trinity Valley Community College. You're watching on the Cardinal Sports Network. We're here with Trinity Valley co-women's head coach Kenya Landers. Trinity Valley has been picked atop the women's poll, which is not a new position at all for the Lady Cardinals. Kenya, when you guys as coaches look at those poll results, what goes through your head? How do you guys process that? I know you know it's not going to win you any games, but is it a nice honor, and how do you guys process it?
Well, obviously we think it's something that we've earned and we deserve from all the work that we put in every year. It just keeps the X on our back, which fortunately, it's a position that we're used to. Obviously with that comes responsibility, and we try to preach that to our players every day and just kind of let them know that, it's not necessarily just about today, but it's about what we're working for in the future and what we're trying to do as a team. And, us being number one, I mean, we had a good year last year, and we had a couple slip-ups and a couple close games, but if you win by 1 or you win by 50, you still win. So, we're coming out this year with a lot of holes plugged up from last year. I mean, the point guard spot last year and the low post positions were our biggest holes. And I think we've done a great job of patching those holes and putting some really good players there. So we feel like we have an opportunity to come out and continue to compete and continue to do the things that we've done every year, which is play harder than our opponents, longer than our opponents, and that normally takes care of us and we come out on top.
Obviously, with a second-place national finish, at Trinity Valley, that kind of rings a little bit different than it may at other schools. Tell me a little bit about, I know there's even T-shirts that you guys wear, that talk about, second place stinking or, not that kind of thing. I mean, can you talk about, that mentality that you got with this bunch, that, second place even nationally is not good enough?
Well, I mean, that's just not what we play for. We don't play for second place, and we do kind of have a motto this year that second place sucks, and it does, because all year all I have to do is look at that freaking second place trophy, and I got tired of looking at it, so I put it up in our locker room and I let them look at it, and hopefully that can serve as some motivation for them. And I want them to remember the tears, and I want them to remember how bad it hurt. And some people celebrate second and third place, but we don't, because our goal every year is to win a national championship. And so it's something that the new ones don't quite understand yet, but I think they got a taste of it at the Jamborees, where everybody gave us the game and everybody wants to give it to us as good as they can. So we're just trying to establish our culture with the new ones right now and just get them to buy in and to believe in what we're saying and doing.
Right. Talk about, we had heard in the first half, obviously there was mention of your first team returning All-American, Shakayla Caples. You guys have several players back. I want to talk about both sides, your returning players and then some of your new players. Real quick, talk about some of those players that are coming back with Shakayla and some of the other ones.
Well, anytime you have a special All-American like Shakayla Caples coming back, it makes you feel good about your position on the wing. And then on the other wing, you got the regional tournament MVP and Janae Barrett, who's put in a lot of work, get that knee healthy. she's really fine-tuned her game and just really stepped it up for us. And then, you got the workhorse in the middle with Alice Robinson, who just outworks everybody every day. And she's been our rock and our constant and our crutch that we just lean on every day when we're struggling. And then we got, that didn't get to play last year, we got Kiana Flax, who came in at Christmas, and she's a transfer from Oklahoma State, and she's unbelievable. When she gets out on the floor, unfortunately she's been out with a twisted ankle, but another workhorse just will give it to you, every way you want it and every way she can, every single minute that she's out on the floor. And the new ones, but one thing about us, we signed a lot of kids, but we don't come in with the mindset of we got to rebuild this year. We just reload. We sign the best players that we can find. My assistant coaches do an unbelievable job, Courtney Simmons, Jeremy Bonin, of getting out there and finding the best players. And we have found some really good pieces to the puzzle. And I'm looking forward to the days ahead where that light goes off and they start to get a little bit more. Right now they're struggling, as they should be, because we're tough and we're tough to play for, and we're demanding and we're in the middle of their butt every single minute on the floor. And that's a hard adjustment for them to make. But I believe that is why this program has been successful year in and year out, because we are demanding on our players from day one. And we don't baby them along, and we don't feel sorry for them. We kick them in the rear, and then when they stick it back out, we kick them again, and that's just how we do it. And, when they leave here and you get those notes in the mail, say thank you for everything that you taught me, you remember that you're doing it the right way. So.
Well, and I've always got the impression that with you guys, the fact that there is always a target on your back really is kind of motivation that you can't. I mean, that's something that only those outside teams can give you. Is they put that target on your back, and it's one more thing to keep you guys motivated. That's a pretty unique position, I would think.
Sure, and look at today. I mean, we got some pretty confident and cocky coaches in here talking about what they plan to do, and that's exciting for me, because I'm glad that the days of people laying down and taking losses from Trinity Valley is over. That excites me. Because now my mind is moving at a different pace. My motivation is stepped up, and that's only going to make my team better. So that definitely excites me, and it's the league is more competitive, and I think that's going to make us better nationally.
Yeah. One more thing real quick. Obviously, everybody knows how much of a grind playing in this league is. Just the fact that it crosses from one year to another and goes months beyond that, especially if you end up at the national tournament. How do you try to, for some of these kids that are coming, your new kids that don't know what to expect, how do you guys approach a season like this that is so long? And, it just seems like it's such a long time between November and March. What kind of mindset do you guys try to approach this whole long season with?
Well, obviously we split it up. We really did our preseason a lot differently. It was way less basketball and more conditioning, more weightlifting, more running. Just so not to peak too early. I think last year we had a bit of an early peak, and I think that we just make sure that we, as much time as we spend on the floor, we like to make sure and take them away from the floor, and do team building activities and kind of keep their minds fresh. But, Christmas break saves us. It gives them a time to go home, recharge their batteries a little bit, get spoiled by mama, and all that. And then they come back, and you come back, and it's time to go. You're in conference play, and we got teams that we're playing, and these games that we're playing are going to determine our future. So, preseason games, you're coming out, and you're pretty much knowing, you're probably going to win. But these conference games are do or die. And so I think, they see a difference in a mindset from us. So I think that automatically changes over in their sense of urgency and motivation as well.
Kane, thank you for your time. Congratulations. Good luck this season. We're going to visit with Trinity Valley men's head coach Pat Smith now here for a few moments as Pat steps in. Pat, one thing that just kind of stands out right off the top is there are high expectations for Trinity Valley. I would imagine that those expectations aren't any higher than the ones that you and your coaches are setting for the guys this year.
Oh, it's completely different because the people that voted us number one haven't seen us practice. Right. I just told my assistants the other day, I said, who recruited these guys? But seriously, I know some people run from it. On the women always have to deal with it. But, we feel like it says a lot about what we try to get done here in 6 years. We won a regular season title last year. This year we'd love to win another regular season title and win a regional title. But with that said, it's a long, hard journey to get there, and we're on that journey right now. We're a mixture of the old and the new. 3 returnees, 2 kids that redshirted last year. We have, I think, 4 or 5 transfers in, a few freshmen. So we're trying to blend all the different parts together, and it's been a journey so far.
Yeah, Pat. Obviously, with you guys got to the regional tournament, you got knocked out by a pretty good basketball club. How does that, motivate you guys for this year? I know the past is the past, and it doesn't do anything for this season. But how do you guys take that and turn that around into a positive that you can use this year, especially with those returning guys, but also what you can pass down to the new ones?
Well, I'm motivated by this. I won the Illinois region 3 out of the 4 years I was in it. I won the Missouri region 2 out of the 3 years I was in it. And I'm still trying to win this region. So that motivates me every single day. But with that said, we feel like, last 2 years we've won 49 games. This is the old-time Division I basketball. At the end of the year, only one team gets to go to the national tournament. And so that's what makes this region really hard with as many good teams. And, Lamar State was an interesting study last year, Jason. They had a good team, won their last 5 regular season. Kilgore had them down 22 in the first round of the regional tournament, 22 points. Well, they came back, won the game somehow, breathed a sigh of relief, and then from then on they just took off. And, we ran into a very hot team, and we did not play well that day, but I've not even watched the tape of that game. Yeah. It's been all I could do to even have it on my desk. Yeah. But the bottom line, I do need to watch it sometime because that is a great motivator. Yeah.
Well, and Pat, you touched on that, kind of getting hot going into that tournament. It's such a long season, which everybody has to deal with. But, it's this season that goes from November to March and then some. How important is it that you just kind of hang in there and start trying to play or keep continuing to try to play your best basketball as the season goes on until that tournament?
Well, we won 12 out of 14 last year, Jason, to win the league. The 2 losses were in overtime, and we were as hot as anybody. And, that's just one of those things that every day that I coach, we try to work on making our team as good as they can be. And we will do the same thing this year. But, it's a marathon. And, I'll tell you this. I told my assistants when the season ended last year, everything we did to get ready for this regional tournament, we will do the complete opposite next year because we didn't play well. Would it have made a difference? I don't know. But I do know this. I look forward to watching our team grow. If while you're watching us play this year, if you can ever tell me what our identity is, what we need to be doing, I will be open because I'm still trying to figure this team out. Yeah. I mean, it's a work in progress.
Yeah. Just one more thing real quick. I wanted you to talk about some of your kids that you do have coming back, the 3 that you've got coming back, and maybe any of the new kids. Of course, like one of the coaches said, you never know what you're going to get out of the ones that are new to the league, the freshmen. But talk about your returners and maybe some of the newcomers that you're expecting a contribution from.
D.D. Scarver's a returning freshman year in the league. He was first-team All-Region as a freshman. Very good player, can really score the ball. He had some major games for us last year. I don't think we won the conference regular season last year, Jason, without Daniel Yambe. He just came in and just was really a spark to us. He's back playing better than ever. We got a kid named Jaywan Hill that did not play a lot this year but will this upcoming year, this past year. And then we got two what we consider major transfers. We got Abdul Ahmed, 6'9", from University of Oklahoma. And we got a young man named Stargell Love who averaged, 12 minutes a game playing at Baylor last year as a point guard. But, last year our transfers were huge. And we'll need at least 4 or 5 of those transfers stepping up. And we'll need, down the road, a freshman or 2 getting there. And it's kind of interesting because our sophomores, for the most part, are well ahead of our freshmen, even the transfers. And so as we go toward the start of the season, we need to figure out which 8 or 9 we're going to play. Yeah. And I don't know yet, but we hope to in a week or so.
Yeah. One more thing real quick. We talked about, you mentioned that you guys had won 12-14 going in the tournament and just all kinds of teams in that tournament. What do you feel like is maybe a common factor, a key that will lead you to have success there once you get to the end?
Win the first game. Just basically get there. And we were a team last year that was very dependent on our three-point shooting. And I think kind of like in football, if you can run the ball, I think you got a leg up. I don't care if you're in the NFL, college, you got a consistent factor. And so we're going to try to be a lot better inside this year. And I think we have a chance to be. But I thought last year we were very guard-oriented, very guard-oriented. And so this year I still want good guards, but we think we're going to be better in the post. And hopefully that will be a criteria that will help us be successful come March. Okay.
Thank you, Pat. Appreciate your time. All right.
Appreciate y'all being out.
That was Pat Smith, the head men's basketball coach here at Trinity Valley Community College. We're about a minute and a half away from starting the second half of the 14th annual media tip-off here at Trinity Valley Community College. Of course, you're watching it on the Cardinal Sports Network. One of the things that we'll always hear at these things is how great this conference is. It's not unusual to hear that at the football media day and the basketball media day, but the truth is when you look at the competition in this conference, as we've just talked to Kenya Landers from the Trinity Valley Lady Cards, who finished second in the nation last year, it's really just top-notch talent. So we're heading into the second half now. We're going to hear from the last coaches. We still have not heard from Trinity Valley coaches yet. They'll go last on the list. And once again, we just thank you for joining us on the Cardinal Sports Network.
Okay, we'll go ahead and resume and finish up for the day. First up will be Coach Brian Hoberide of Kilgore College.
Maybe I ought to get a little clarification on that. I always enjoy this time of the year in Media Day because I know basketball is kind of getting started right around the corner, and I think we all get excited during that time of the year. I really appreciate the media being here. I think you guys are a significant driving force behind this region and its notoriety. And the way that you guys represent it and keep it in the forefront of the media, I think, is a significant contributing factor to our perception of how good this league is. So appreciate you guys being here. It's always good to see the coaches in our league and just visit with them. I do need to dispel one rumor about the yelling and screaming in the gym because evidently he forgot that started with him because he practices from 1:30 to 3:30 every day, and there's 3 buildings between the gym. There's a library, a student success building, another computer lab, and then the president's office. And I told Roy I had to go down to the president's office and ask to borrow his phone a couple of days because it was so loud in the gym I couldn't get any work done between 1:30 and 3:30. So the yelling and screaming thing's probably a little bit it probably goes both ways with both of us. But I think one of the things I would comment about that, and we do throw a lot of jabs at each other and joke around a lot, but I work in a unique environment at Kilgore with my athletic director and with Coach Thomas, who's been on the men's side and has some long-standing experience. And no kidding aside, I've been on the other side of it where there's tension between men's and women's coaches, and I got a lot of respect for our working environment at Kilgore, the fun that we're able to have every day, the just sitting down and talking basketball that Coach Thomas and I get to do, and the fact that I get to take from his experience and the things that he's done. So I've got a lot of respect for that and what we're trying to get done at Kilgore. To move on, our team, I think it's better. I've stood up here every year and told you that I want our team to become relevant in this league and that I want it to become relevant in this region and in time compete for region championships. And I think we're in a position where we can take another step in a positive direction this year. Our character's better, our basketball IQs are better, and I think because of that our talent's better. And so I think over the course of time, if these guys can continue to mature, continue to be coachable, and continue to do the things that we're asking them to do, I think we're going to be competitive. I think we'll be tough to beat, and I think this group's going to be a lot of fun to coach. And that's one of the exciting times I think for all of us coaches right now as we stand in front of you, is we're molding our team and we're trying to give it some identity, and that's the great part of coaching, and is getting to develop your team and try to bring 15. Some of us, I've looked at rosters, got 20, 22 guys on the roster, however many it is, but it's bringing those guys together and forming something that's bigger than any one of them alone or bigger than us as a coach. So got a lot of respect for everybody in this room on the men's and women's side because I've been able to watch a lot of games over the last 4 years or the last 3 years, and it's a great league to coach in, and it's a lot of fun, and so I've got a lot of respect for that. And again, we appreciate you guys and your contributions also. Thanks.
Now we'll hear from Coach Roy Champagne of Lee College.
Thank you, Benny. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. Pat, thank you for the lunch because I like driving up East Texas and taking that long ride, and it's always good to have a meal waiting for me, so I appreciate that. If I can only have that when I come to Athens to play, fortunately I don't have to do that this year. I guess the best thing about our team this year is that we've got a lot of new faces, a lot of hard-working kids. The probably worst thing for them is that I'm back for my 19th year. Last year we went 11-19, and we played in 23 games that were decided by 5 points or less. I'd never played in a game. I've coached a long time from my young age, but I think our game with Kilgore was just one of the most gut-wrenching experiences that I had, to watch a young man go in for about a 75-foot layup uncontested because we had just missed the layup at the basket where 9 people were crunched underneath the rim, and the ball happened to carry him off exactly where it needed to go for his guard just to dribble down the court in 3 or 4 dribbles and score a layup as the time expired. But the positive thing about last year's team, we had 7 young men that signed Division I scholarships. So we're excited about the work that we try to do for our young people, and it is a stepping stone. We hope that it's not a stopping point for them when they get here. Our league provides a tremendous platform for our guys to be exposed to the national scene. Mike was right in regards to what the buzz is about this year's league. We say it every year, but it just tends to stack and keep getting better and better. We have 4 Division I transfers, which is a lot in my tenure. We tend to try to keep kids from start to finish, but we had some unique situations happen in the recruiting process, missed out on a couple bigs at the end, and ended up finding some great people, some blue-collar guys that are really working hard. I don't think I've ever had a team work as hard as they've worked in the preseason. What we put them through is pretty tough, and I think hopefully they will appreciate it. We are ranked at the bottom, I think, in the South. In no way, shape, or form do I expect that to be what it will be at the end of the deal. So we understand you got to vote somewhere, and we have to go prove ourselves. In regards to the 22 people on a roster, I've been really getting on Johnny about the rules in our league about having 12 scholarships, and he just keeps finding more and more money to continue to have people on the roster. And since Mike has already spoken, I know that the pressure's really on him because I noticed that they have one more classic without an NBA player's name on it. So I think this year's the year, Mike, that you'll find one more NBA player that you can get on there so that classic will have a name. Thank you.
And now Coach Jacob Wonders of San Jacinto College.
Echoing what everybody said, appreciate TVCC for this. Also appreciate the media coming out and covering this. Everybody says it over and over and over. Best region in America. Everybody's good. Everybody's got players. Everybody's well coached. Really appreciative for the ability to be at San Jacinto College, replacing Coach Ternander. Appreciate him and all he's done for me through my career. Started out with an assistant foreman 0102, and I've got great Leon Spencer story as well. He got thrown out at San Jack that year there, and early in the second half, he waved to a beautiful young lady. They hopped in the car and took off with about 8 minutes in the second half, and one of those things that always sticks with you and you remember. I don't know how Coach Champagne does it, but he looks great. He's been in the league 19 years. I'm going into my 5th year as a head coach in this league, and I look like hell. I'm 36 years old, and I'm on my 2nd coaching stint in Region 14, joining such fine men as Pat Smith, Bill Foy, Scott Schumacher, as people who have been head coaches at 2 different institutions in Region 14. I'm not very smart. It is brutal. It's a grind. But a lot of respect. The league is awesome. Great people, great players, great fans, great media, and really glad to be a part of it. Again, thank Coach Ternander for all that he's done for me. I also appreciate Dr. Hellier and Dr. Matkin for promoting me to this position. And really excited about our staff. Have Scott Jernander Jr., who was on the team in 01-02 when I was here, and has done a great job with Sanjack the last 3 years. Also Albert Talley, who was my assistant at Panola for 4 seasons, was Chuck Taylor's assistant over at Paris last year, has also joined us. And he's now, again, for all you guys that go back in history, he's been an assistant in Region 14 at 3 different institutions. I don't know if there's many guys that can say that, but great experience for us that we're looking forward to. Excited about our team. We've had some health issues. We haven't been able to have a full-scale workout with all 15 of our guys. I think if we get everybody there, everybody healthy, and buy into the quote-unquote way, we'll be in great shape to compete. And that's really all you can do in this league because everybody's really good. Every night's a battle at home, on the road, in the region tournament, and looking forward to another great year. Thank you very much.
And next up is Coach Lynn Nabby of Jacksonville College.
Thank you, Trinity Valley, for having us today. Thank you, media, for being here. Maybe y'all have heard this story, maybe you have not, but this is for Pat Smith. You know, if it wasn't for Pat Smith, I wouldn't be here today. When he was coaching at Jacksonville College, the women's volleyball team was just horrendous. So he decided to kill the program and start women's basketball. So if y'all didn't know that story, that's the truth. So I got a lot of credit to Pat Smith still being here. Let me tell you, wow. Let me just say, wow. The league is tremendous. The 2 scrimmages that we've been at, every team from 1 to 10 is balanced, got tremendous talent. We're just looking for a way to survive at Jacksonville College. But let me tell you, our team plays hard. Very proud of the ladies that we've got recruited in there right now. But the 2 sophomores returning, Brooke Taylor, my point guard from Woodville, Texas, has been a leader so far. And Daria Kruchkova, our post player from Moscow, Russia, 6'2", has really developed into a fine player. And I'm just looking for those 2 to kind of lead us and get us through this region. They're better. But I didn't make a lot of great decisions as a coach last year with that team I had. Hopefully I'll make some better decisions this year. We can be a little more competitive. We will play hard. One of the great decisions I did make this year, though, is that we got new bleachers in our gym. So all the coaches that have been mad of our fans walking in front of you all these years, well, they're going to actually go behind you. So you're going to really appreciate that, okay? So the Curtis Carroll Fieldhouse got a facelift. It's kind of put a little bit more excitement back into me. It's made things kind of fun, so I hope y'all enjoy the new arena when you come. The second best decision I made last year was hiring Coach Jody Bailey. He's a spark plug and a fire plug. It keeps me going every day. So we just hope to compete, and we're so glad to be a part of this league. And thank you again, Trinity Valley.
And now Coach Jody Bailey of Jacksonville College.
Thank you. I want to echo what everyone has said, about thank you so much for Trinity Valley for hosting this, and thank you so much to the media for being here. Really excited about being back here for year 2 at Jacksonville College. If you've come to one of our games or if you've seen us play, when the game's over, there's usually there's this little 2-year-old boy starts running around the court. And that's my son. His name's Jay Lawrence. And we love to read books together. The other night we're reading Marvin K. Mooney, Won't You Please Go Home? And I know many of you have that on your speed dial there. And then we're reading a bunch of books, and we're reading a book, about Noah. And Noah's got, 2 of everything. And I go, yeah, it's kind of like Lamar Port Arthur. And so he's like, okay, and he just looks at me kind of funny. And then there we've got some toys for him, and he's got these little Smurfs, and he's look, Papa, look, Dad, there's Vandy Smurf, look, Smurfette, and I go, yeah, that's the Jacksonville Jaguars. So we go through it, and I go, yep. And if you look at our roster, we look like a bunch of Smurfs. We're probably the smallest team in all junior college basketball, but we're thankful for what we have. I love my team. They work hard. what I love about them, probably more than anything, is their attitude. They got a great attitude, and their character's the most important thing for me, because I think eventually through adversity your character does get revealed. And at our school, we all know the situation over at Jacksonville College, but we're thankful for it. And through daily, they get tested, and they get tested through many things both on and off the court, and their attitude is very important. We returned 4 players from last year's program: J.J. Williams, Maurice County, Nelson Kirksey, and Nikolai Gajic. I'm real thankful for what they've done so far. We're trying hard to get a voice out of them, and we're looking for that voice in our team still today. We hope to find one soon. I tell you, last year when I came up here and we talked and was over at Tyler, I was in awe, and I was just fascinated by everything. And I've coached in a lot of spots and been in a lot of places, and I was just really fascinated with how this is, from the coaches and from the players and from the media. And then I was, somebody said, what'd you think about it? And I was still shocked and awe with how this conference. It is amazing, and there's no question about it. And it's fascinating to watch it, but it's humble to be a part of it. I'll say this, and we're done. Last year, the last thing I wanted when we talked about up here was we wanted Jacksonville College to be relevant whenever we played, and we wanted that game to matter for opponents. And now we feel like it has. And now our goal this year is just try to be relentless, and that's our goal. We want to be relentless. Thank you very much.
Next up is Coach Bernita Williams of Lon Morris College.
Good afternoon. Quick thank you, like everyone else has said, to Trinity Valley for hosting the event, to all the media for coming out. Thank you. Quick thank you to my athletic director, Dale Dotson, who's had enough faith and trust in me as, just an assistant coach to take over the program. Even when everybody was probably telling him not to, he still had faith and trust in me, and hopefully, we returned it, and he was proud of us when we made it to that championship game. So I just want to say thank you for that to Dale Dotson. As far as our team this year, we've got 5 returners. 4 of those were starters on that team that went to the championship game last year against my friends over here at Trinity Valley. Although we lost an All-American, Brenda Adiambo, we feel like we've got a good core group coming back, good character young ladies that, are listeners. They work hard, and they want to buy in so that they can be on the other end of that championship game this year. 2 of them were all conference. I want to apologize again to the coaches. I didn't bring a roster. I thought it printed. I apologize. I'll email you all the roster. I'm not trying to hold back anything, but I will be sure to get that to you. I'll be sure to get that to you. But 2 of them is Ariana James. She played in the NJCAA All-Star game this summer, and then Whitney Wilson. She made the all-tournament team, and both of them a lot better shape, work hard this summer, and are ready to play. As far as the freshman class, I don't want to deem anybody the queen until they prove themselves, so we shall see on that aspect. But we have addressed our backcourt issue. We needed more athletic point guards, and just all-around athleticism and talent has increased a lot this year. And our goal is just to go out and compete. That's our goal. We want to go out there and not just be, just another team that coaches dismiss. We want to give competition and hopefully win as much as possible. Thank you.
And now Coach Dale Dotson of Lon Morris College.
I would like to mention I am pretty smart in picking Bernita because she acknowledged me in the exact manner I told her to. Well done, kiddo. I've got to tell a Leon story. This is really good. He made it. Barton County or Butler? I forget which one. It may have been Barton. we're playing on a Friday night. Leon's team's up there with us, and we're playing those guys up there that, you know, their mascots should be Cheat. It's unbelievable. He had a Big 8 official that I had some discussions with, and I got tossed out of the game pretty early. Could have been what I said about his family. I don't know. Might have been my comment about his heritage. I don't know about that. Anyway, I got tossed because he wanted to make sure that I knew he had officiated in the Big 8. It was the Big 8 then. So I go back in the back, and I peep out this little hallway they got that goes out on the floor, and Rick's got the team now. And so this guy comes flying up through there and tells me that I can't stand there and look out. It makes me go back. He thought I left the gym. I didn't, but Leon was back there. So Leon became my assistant. Leon took messages to Rick during the game. Now, I told Leon while he was doing that this guy was probably going to call his game the next night. Well, Leon took the messages, and, you know, they beat us bad enough that the official was satisfied. So we play the next night, and we play the early game, so we're going to head back to Jacksonville. And we're headed back, and we turned the radio on, and the game had started, been going about 5 or 10 minutes, and evidently Leon said something about the guy's family because he got tossed. And I was really overwrought that I couldn't go back and help him, but we were too far gone. I wasn't going to turn around. So Leon probably doesn't even remember that, but I bet he does. You know, I got real sick of listening to Roy standing up here and talk about how old he is. You know, about 2 years ago, there's a sports guy named Vern Lundquist with CBS now that had me on his show in Austin, Texas. Couldn't have been more than 2 years ago. It had to be. And he called me at that time up-and-coming young coach. And for some reason, suddenly I'm that old son of a bitch at Lon Morris. I don't get it. Because it hadn't been long enough ago. And this guy over here is talking about age. I was coaching at Texas when he was playing at Baylor. And I might mention to you, he's always walked like this. And the thing about him is he would walk like that. When you guard him, he'd go past you faster than a cat could lick his backside. And so that's fake. Don't believe any of that stuff. It's fake. It's all fake. And he's not but 22 years old either, so that's nonsense. Now, speaking of nonsense, I've done all this because I don't want to talk about my team. You know, we worked out this morning before I got here, and I had 6 people on the floor. I've got 7 hurt. Don't know how long they're going to be out, but we're praying for it. I've got, who was it said, well, I got 10 new guys. Well, I got 12. I got 12 new guys because the reason I've got 12 is because I got rid of the 13th. He's gone. So I got 12 guys. 2 of them have ever played college basketball. I got no starters. But I've got guys, all of them. I told some people a while ago, I haven't had a guy late to practice. Not one guy has been late to practice. That is a JUCO record. I'll promise you. I'll promise you, because the 23 years I've been at Lon Morris, it took me 2 weeks to get them to understand when 9 o'clock in the morning was. None of them knew. These guys evidently do. So maybe if I can get them all back on the floor, they've got a chance to get on regulation uniforms and be at the game at the same time, which is pretty important, especially for these guys we're going to play because they need a win real bad. But we'll, like somebody else said, we'll play hard. I don't know how good we'll be. We got a chance to be decent because I got some guys that can shoot, and I've never seen a shutout. So we're a little up on that end of the story. I don't think we can guard anybody. So we're going to stay out of the invisible arc because I don't want to get anybody else hurt. When they get in there, we'll get stepped on and we'll get hurt. But we are going to show up and play, except when we go to Tyler, because Marquis runs too fast. And we're not going to go over to Jacksonville because Jody defends too hard. And we're sure not coming to Trinity Valley because all kinds of things happen and none of them are good. So I don't know what we're going to do. It looks like 6 losses right there, 3 anyway, but we're going to show up and play. And I do like my kids. I really like them. I don't know what they can do. I don't have a clue what they can do because we haven't been able to practice. Every scrimmage I've gone to, I've gotten 2 more hurt, 2 more hurt, 2 more hurt. So I guess a smart thing for somebody who's been coaching 45 years is don't go to any more scrimmages, which is probably what we'll do. And I'll say this, we appreciate all you people. And I've said many times, you young coaches need to listen to this close from a old son of a bitch. The only friends you got are those people sitting around you. I can assure you. There'll be people talk nice to you when you win, and when you lose, they don't know who you are. So those coaches that have been through it and will go through it again, they'll always be your friends. They don't like you when they line up against you, but when it's over, we're all in the same boat. And I would say this because I don't have many more times to say it. I absolutely love this. And these guys here are the best people in the world. These over here are the best people in the world. So all you media folks, when you want to write that the coach made an awful decision, try it on a time or two. Let us write about you, see how that works. Thank you.
And now Coach Johnny Estelle from Navarro College.
Man, that's a hard act to follow. A lot of respect for Coach Dotson. Thanks, Trinity Valley, for having us here, media, everyone. It's always a great event. I always put it down on my calendar to come to this event, to be a part of it. Coach, good to see you over there. Had a lot of battles with him, a lot of good stories. Kept the league going. You and Coach Orr, Coach Davis, guys that was, coaching in there and everyone like that. Life in basketball is humbling. Last year I came up here, I was talking about, I moved into this new home, and I was out there working in my yard, and a lady came by and asked me which guy was I. And I was like, what do you mean, which guy? Which coach? She said, no, are you the lawn guy or the tree guy? Well, I used that as motivation, and I went and started me a little business. Well, the business failed. Didn't make no profit off of that. So then the football coach went and won the national championship. Then the baseball coach went and won the national championship. So the same lady I saw, she stays in my neighborhood. She stopped by. She says, hey. I said, yes, ma'am. I said, you remember me? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, I know who you are now. I said, which one? She said, you're the guy that never won a championship. I said, thank you. I appreciate it. So, Dale, you're right. When you win, people remember you. When you don't win, you kind of go off in the sunset a little bit. But I'm happy to be at Navarro. We call it the College of Champions. Dr. Sanchez coined that phrase, and it came true for us. We were very blessed. I just want to be a part of that, hopefully at the national level. Me and Coach Dodson, we was at the national tournament, not the national, regional tournament, and we were sitting there after we had both got put out, and we were sitting there talking, and we had a pretty good conversation. We looked at each other, and he goes, "This ain't no fun at all." But he put it in a different context. I said, "No, I've never been here." But it gave us a good perspective to watch the tournament, and I got a chance to watch the women play. And I got to say, it was a great tournament. I really enjoyed it. I wish I was playing in it a little bit further than what we did, but the women did an outstanding job. We don't have women's basketball. I don't get a chance to see a lot of it, but I commend you ladies and gentlemen over here. Boy, it was great play. It was great coaching. It was ladies making athletic plays, shooting the ball, playing with passion. It was good. It was really good. It was good therapy for me because when we got put out the next day, I think it was Trinity Valley played Paris. Me and Pat sat next to each other, and I think Pat needed to be on suicide watch that day because he was pretty down and out, and I was down and out, so we picked each other up. Budget cuts. They came into play. I don't know about you guys at your campuses. Dr. Sanchez had a presidential forum, and he talked about cutting the budget. So he talked to us about that last year, so that's why I chose not to go to the national tournament because it cost so much. But No, truthfully, Matt Cross did an outstanding job. He did a good job. He pulled together his guys. They played hard. They deserved the win. I didn't know what I would say because I've been very blessed to win it my first 2 years. I thought if I didn't win it, what would I say or what would I do? But I'm just going to give the respect to where it needed to be. I thought he did a good job. As always, I went up to the national tournament to support our team. He did a good job of representing us there. I hope I'm back on top or Navarro College has a chance to go and play for a national championship. But if we don't, like Dale said, it's not the end of the world. There is more to it than just winning games. Last year's recap, we was 20-11. We did do some things that I was very proud of. Our team had a 3.0 GPA, had the seventh best GPA in junior college basketball last year, which I was very proud of. 100% graduation rate, 100% placement rate. I had 3 kids, one go to USC, Greg Allen. I had another kid, Leon Gibson, go to University of Houston, and then Jeremy Adams, they went to University of Colorado. That sophomore group was 50-18 for their 2 years. We had a 4th place finish at the national tournament with that group, and then it broke our 4-year. We was in the regional championship game 4 years in a row. That team was in it for 1. Our outlook for this year. I only have one returning sophomore that's played for me, and just like Benita said, I'm going to put stock into him right now because he's been through the war. I don't care if you got a transfer from wherever, university of the world. If he hadn't played in this conference 1 year, he doesn't know what he's in for. You have to play in this conference every night. Coach Orr had a good saying where he said, there's guys at the Division I level can't play in this conference because they can't withstand every night and playing every night and playing against the different styles and the type of coaches that are playing in this league. So Haji Thomas is kind of where the cornerstone of our team. We do have some transfers, Deshaun McClure from Seminole State Junior College, Amos Atalio from Stephen F. Austin, and James Thomas from Tarleton State. We do return a returning freshman, probably he's not as big as Dale's kids tall-wise, but Trenton Tank Mayberry, he's 6'10". On the roster, he's listed at 310. That was before we put him on his diet. We got him on a diet. He did work down to about 300. Then he got on this new diet that I want to advocate for everyone here called the strep throat diet. He got strep throat and he lost another 15 pounds. So God was looking out for us there. But he is down to 285. He's doing a good job for us. Our top freshmen are DeMarco Henry, Princess Onowitz, Terrence Sion, Keith Smith, and Jonathan Ben, who are all on the roster. Who knows what the future will bring? I think we're going to play hard. I think we're going to fight. I think about my life a little bit and how blessed I am. I remember back in 1998, I was a GA at Texas A&M University in Kingsville where I graduated and played from. I stayed in a 2-bedroom apartment with 4 guys. I didn't get one of the bedrooms. Me and another little skinny guy, about 6'5", about 185, who had came to play. We shared the couch. Whoever got home first, you got the couch. The other guy had to lay on the floor on an air mattress. Well, I looked at both of our lives and where they are today. That guy, the skinny guy that I shared the couch with, he's pitching in the World Series right now. His name is Mike Adams. And, I look at that guy and I say, hey, man, God has a plan for us all, And there go a guy that came to play basketball. Coach told him, hey, you probably better off playing baseball. And he took coach's advice, and now he's pitching in the World Series. He didn't pitch last night, but I'm very proud of him, what he's accomplished in his life. He's done a great job and a family man and a man of God, and that's something to be proud of. On the other flip side of it, when I was in Kingsville, I took classes and had a cheerleader that I went to school with named Eva Longoria. I will reserve comment on that subject due to my wife, and I want to stay married. Life is precious, in closing. And I want to say, losing Coach Scott Janander to this year of leaving the conference, he was a good, confident, and a good friend of mine. It's going to be different. No disrespect to Jake. I'm very happy for Jake. Jake is very deserving. Coach G, I shared a really strong relationship with. He was a good man. The year that we had the wreck, he was unbelievable to me and the community there in Navarro. He was just, he always wanted to beat you, but he always had a sense of humor and a good friend of mine. And I hate to see him gone. I am glad that Jake did get the job there and they entrusted that program with him. But I am going to miss Coach G. And the next thing I want to say, love your family and love your kids. I watched a very heartfelt movie called Courageous that I would really, really advise everyone here to watch. It don't have a lot of killing in it and gang-related violence and all that stuff in it, but it's one of the best movies I ever seen in my entire life. And I say that because Coach Scott Horseman, who was an assistant in this league for years that everyone here knows, lost his daughter to an asthma attack. And, if you don't know anything about anything, your family and your relationship with God is very important. And I think when you get in, to the rut like we all do, we're in that rut right now, and we're trying to win games and beat each other. Make time for what's important. Make time to tell people you love them. Make time to say, hey, thank you, and show gratitude, and be humble at all times. Because just like anything else, it could be taken away from you just like that. So, if anybody don't have any questions for me, I am done.
And now we'll hear from Coach Kenya Landers of Trinity Valley.
Let's see here. Let's see. First, I want to thank Dr. Forgy, our president here, and just thank him for all his support to our athletic programs, and especially men's and women's basketball. Thank Coach Smith for just all of his direction and support that he gives all of his coaches on a daily basis. We really couldn't ask for anybody better in a leadership role. Always got his door open. I don't know if he gets any work done from me, always knocking and asking questions and everything, but he's been really, really good for us. Let's see. Women's basketball. Let me see. We still have a pretty bad taste in our mouth. Went to the national tournament last year, and we came up short. And it sucks. That's all I can say. We've talked about that all summer, all spring through our workouts, all summer, all fall. Our players are already tired of hearing from me and my coaches how much second place sucks, because it does. That's not what we, as a program, that's not what we play for. That's not what we go for. That doesn't excite us. So obviously we have a little bit more motivation under our belt, and we feel like we definitely have something to prove. Not necessarily to everybody else, but to each other. So that's kind of where we are with that. I like our team. I like our team a lot. Obviously, last year we had some definite holes in the point guard position and no presence at all on the low block. And my recruiting coordinator, Courtney Simmons, and Jeremy helping her out, they have done a fantastic job of, one thing that's different about us is how we look at our team year in and year out. We don't go out and say we are rebuilding another team. We go out, we get the best players in the country, and we reload. And we feel like that's what we have done with our team, and we feel like that's where we're headed. So we've signed some very, very talented players in the point guard spot. We've signed some very talented players on the low block. We've signed some very, very talented wings, some shooters. Now, with all that being said, what are we going to do with it? There's a lot that goes into what our success will be. It's not just about your talent level. It's, how will we mesh? How will they buy in? What's going to happen with the injury bug? I mean, I could go on and on about the things that are going to affect our season, but I can say we have a very, very good recipe for success on paper right now. Let me see. For the most part, we've been solid. Our team's still obviously trying to develop an identity, and it's not offense, which is what we've been trying to preach to them. They're so excited about shooting the ball and seeing how many points they can get. But Trinity Valley has always hung our hat on being the better defensive team on the floor and playing harder, longer than our opponents. So that's something that we're definitely trying to preach to our team and get them to buy into. Definitely excited about our schedule this year. It's tough. We go to Midland and play some of the top teams in the country, and we better be ready because last year Midland that tournament gave us everything we could handle, and obviously we were successful and got a chance to win that WNIT tournament, but all that does is put another X on our back out there. So, that's where we are. But that tournament is so good because it prepares you for the national tournament, and it gives you a tournament-type feel, gives your staff a chance to scout, and your players have to have a quick mindset, quick change of mindsets from opponent to opponent. So that was really good for us. Obviously, our league, I'm excited. I'm excited about everybody coming up here and talking about their squads and playing in championship games and working hard, and I'm excited because I feel like the days of people laying down and just marking their game against Trinity Valley as an L are over, and that excites me as a coach. And if that excites me, that's going to generate to my staff, and if that generates to my staff, that's going to generate to my team. And that is where we are. We are definitely, we know we have an X on our back. It's nothing new, but with that brings responsibility. And that's what we've been trying to preach to our team and get them to understand that every night out we're going to get everybody's best shot. And we got to have our game and our preparation. It's got to be at its best at all times. So, that's pretty much it for us. We're excited, like I said earlier, we're excited about our team. We got a good core group of returners. We got All-American Shakayla Caples on the wing. Then on the other wing, we got Region 14 MVP Janae Barrett, who's done some things to definitely up her game and make her a more significant, consistent competitor. Then we have our workhorse in the middle with Alice Robinson, who has just been, she's been our rock. She's worked so hard all year and just she's just worked her butt off and just been a good example for everybody. And then we have a transfer that came in at Christmas from Oklahoma State, Kiana Flax, who she's had a little ankle injury and hadn't been able to get out there like she's wanted to, but she's gonna do everything that we need her to do. So we're excited about her. And we got some freshman babies that are just lost right now. They are so lost, but it's fun. It's fun to be around them and just kind of watch and see them grow, see some lights go on in their head, and just it's a daily process. But our staff's doing a great job of trying to develop them and just get them, get us where we need to be. So we're excited about the year, and good luck to everybody. Thank you.
And now we'll wrap it up with Coach Pat Smith of Trinity Valley.
Congratulations to Lamar State and to our own Lady Cardinals last year for 2 great seasons. And, of course, our women's basketball team here was national runner-up. And I'll take second place. Somebody wants to hand it to me, I'll be glad to take it. But I tell you, that's how high standards they set. I tell you, Coach Neighbors was talking about taking 18 people to a scrimmage. We took 16 to our jamboree. 3 or 4 of them didn't play. I had one of them come in there the next day and say, Coach, why didn't I play? I said, well, I'm really working hard on role definition. And he said, Coach, how am I supposed to know my role if I don't play? I said, oh, you did your role. Okay? You're not going to play during the game, so we're not going to let you play during the scrimmages, so there's no change. So, I hope he got that. But anyway, maybe that's why we've played decently so far. I told my team the other night that, we're not real good right now. We're not real respected, and then we get voted number 1 in the conference, so I guess that blows that. But we do have a long way to go. We've been just ravaged with sickness, ravaged. Probably as bad as I've had, illness, sickness. For example, we signed 2 or 3 kids late And, you know, I don't know if anybody else has done this. We had to take some kids kind of sight unseen. And I tell you what, I've never seen this before or after. We had 2 of them lose 4 inches and 20 pounds on the airplane flight over here. Guys that were supposed to be 6'7", 220 showed up as 6'3", and 180. So, you know, that's pretty bad. And then we got a returning group. They're back from last year, and they're working hard. But they all have amnesia because they don't remember a thing we did last year. So, you know, it's been kind of a different type of preseason for us. We do have 3 young men back. We have a D.D. Scarver that was a first-team All-Region, good player. We have a kid I thought that was huge in us winning 25 games last year and winning the regular season North Zone Championship. Young man named Daniel Iambe that's back. And, you know, we've got a couple transfers. I mean, as always, we're trying to mix 3 or 4 groups together. Our returnees, we had a young man named Abdul Ahmed that set out last year from Oklahoma, transfer 6'9", got a chance to be a good player. We were lucky enough this summer to get Stargell Love, transfer from Baylor. So, you know, we feel like we have some nice pieces, but we have a long way to go. And the 2 major concerns we have is we have a very tough preseason schedule. We have to go up there and play in the deal up there at Midland. And then we've got the marathon called Region XIV Conference. But we're looking forward to it. Yeah, I tell you, I did get enlightened the other day and encouraged by the Oakland Raiders when they signed Carson Palmer and said that he's going to start 5 days later. I said, hey, we're going to have walk-on tryouts. Maybe we can find somebody that can come in here and 5 days later be starting for us. You know, so we're going to have walk-on tryouts next week, so we hope our talent base gets up. But anyway, we've been pretty pleased with them. But I tell you what, this is a great league. I know I'm echoing what everybody said, but it's because of guys like Leon Spencer, Guy Davis, Dale Dotson, Scott Jernander, Roy Thomas. And any time that we have one of these deals, I'm just really honored to be here. We appreciate y'all coming out today, and let's have a great season.
Before we go, let me say to coaches, thank you for your support of this event. As long as we have your support, we'll continue to put it together every year. Thank you, media, for being here, and thank you, everyone. Coaches, have a great season, and it's time to get going.
Well, you've just watched the 14th Annual Region 14 Conference tip-off, media tip-off. As usual, there is always a little bit to laugh at, a little bit of insight on kind of what we can expect as media and as the fans out there, you watching on the Cardinal Sports Network, from what to expect from this conference. One of the recurring themes, as it is every year, is the quality level in this conference, and that has certainly been talked about here at this particular media event. Just to kind of recap a little bit, in the coaches' polls, Trinity Valley's women were picked atop the women's poll to finish. Those polls are voted on by the conference coaches themselves and kind of goes over their expectations. On the men's side in the North Zone, the Trinity Valley men were picked to finish atop the North Zone. Again, they are the repeating North Zone champions. And in the South Zone, the defending regional champion, Lamar State Port Arthur, was picked to finish atop that South Zone. So once again, you know, it's going to be a tough conference. It's a long season. And as you got to see here today on the Cardinal Sports Network, we talked a little bit about what those teams are expecting. A lot of teams with few or no returning starters, and then some teams with some solid kids back on both the men's and the women's sides. Again, we just like to thank you for joining us for the broadcast today on the Cardinal Sports Network, and hope that you'll catch some of these games, come out and support your local teams, and have a great season.